Don't miss the Green and Growing Show in the noon to 9 p.m. hours on Eagle TV. Ellis County Horticulture Agent Holly Dickman will identify common lawn and garden issues while providing up-to-date information. Watch weekdays in the noon to 9 p.m. hours on Channel 14 or 614. Green and Growing, brought to you by Riedel's Garden Center, a full-service garden center west of Hayes on Highway 40, and Eagle TV.
With our current weather conditions, it takes a real expert to create landscape that'll thrive. Riedel's Garden Center has the staff with the expertise of water requirements for plants, lawns, and landscapes that'll stand up to our changing weather conditions. With 25 years of hands-on experience, owner Darren Riedel will customize a landscape design and irrigation system to meet your expectations and our climate. It's recommended to protect your lawn using Fertilome products available at Riedel's Garden Center, an authorized dealer. Call or stop by Riedel's Garden Center today.
Well, weather in Kansas is always unpredictable, and wintertime especially can be hard on some of our plants around our landscapes. And unfortunately this winter we were very, very dry, and so I'm starting to get a lot of phone calls about some winter injury that shows up as the weather warms up, which we're starting to do right now. Winter injury can take place because of drying winds. It can take place of extreme cold, and as you might recall, we had negative 16 degrees in Hayes last December. So we've had some things show up here recently that I'm getting some phone calls about that I wanted to talk about. One is on spruce trees, your other evergreen trees in the landscape. If you see a tree that looks like this in your yard, chances are it's not a disease. We tend to be far enough west that we just don't see disease issues on spruce trees. Not to say that it could never happen, but 9 times out of 10 it is environmental stress. And so if you're seeing some thinning of the overall branches, you're seeing needles that have turned purple, scorching on the needles, those sorts of things, chances are that is simply winter injury or environmental stress. Spruce trees in particular are more prone to this because they are very shallow rooted. And if you think about where spruce trees grow naturally, up in the mountains, in Colorado, places like that, there's generally snow cover on the ground to protect that root system. And the problem with us here is we just haven't had any snow in the wintertime. We haven't had much moisture at all during those winter months when it's so cold. And so these trees tend to stress a little bit faster. One of the recommendations for trees like this is to make sure you send them into winter with some good moisture. But obviously we're beyond that now. So what do you do now? Well, I've been telling people, if it looks bad, it's not going to get better. So if you have dead branches that need to be removed, that's fine. You can go ahead and remove them. But if the overall look of the tree is not what you would want or expect, then you probably will have to remove the tree. Or what I've been telling people is just give it some time. We haven't had enough springtime yet to see what the plants are actually going to do. So if you're seeing things that have died back, just give it a little bit of time. Some of the other things we're starting to see some real severe winter injury on include things like boxwoods, those broadleaf evergreen plants like boxwoods, euonymus. Some of those just fried back or singed back, and they look really yellow and just are not looking very good. Again, if those branches are flexible, go ahead and leave them and just wait and see. Hopefully it'll send out a new flush of growth. If you have something that has brittle branches, go ahead and cut it off, and hopefully it'll start to branch back up from the base of that plant. If the whole thing is dead, which I've seen also, then you're just going to have to replace the plant. Now, another plant that I've been asking or having some questions about is shrub roses. Unfortunately, this was another year for really severe damage on our shrub roses around town. A lot of them are starting to just leaf out at the base, and I'll show you an example of that. But go ahead and remove all that dead and just hope that that growth will come back over the spring. That's really about all you can do. Now going forward, these plants are a little bit stressed, and so if we get into some really hot, dry conditions again, as we usually do in the summertime, make sure that you pay a little more attention to those plants in particular and make sure you water them as needed. That'll just help alleviate some of that stress. In the end, it's just a matter of Mother Nature working against us, and this is where it's really critical to have the right plant in the right place. Boxwoods generally are not recommended for our area because we do have some problems with them getting through that winter time, but also in the summertime with our hot winds. So if you need information about what plants do well in our area here, contact your local extension office for more information. Reporting for K-State Research and Extension and Eagle TV, I'm Holly Dickman, Ellis County Horticulture Extension Agent.
Don't miss the Green and Growing Show in the noon to 9 p.m. hours on Eagle TV. Ellis County Horticulture Agent Holly Dickman will identify common lawn and garden issues while providing up-to-date information. Watch weekdays in the noon to 9 p.m. hours on Channel 14 or 614. Green and Growing, brought to you by Riedel's Garden Center, a full-service garden center west of Hayes on Highway 40, and Eagle TV.
With our current weather conditions, it takes a real expert to create landscape that'll thrive. Riedel's Garden Center has the staff with the expertise of water requirements for plants, lawns, and landscapes that'll stand up to our changing weather conditions. With 25 years of hands-on experience, owner Darren Riedel will customize a landscape design and irrigation system to meet your expectations and our climate. It's recommended to protect your lawn using Fertilome products available at Riedel's Garden Center, an authorized dealer. Call or stop by Riedel's Garden Center today.